everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Neat Bourbon. My name's Tanner, and today we're going to try to determine if this Weller Foolproof is worth the hype and hunt over their base offering, the Special Reserve. Now let's get into this. So, the Weller line from Buffalo Trace showcases their wheated mash bill, which is undisclosed, but it's rumored to be 70% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% malted barley. And everybody at some point in their bourbon journey has been hunting these bottles. And I mean, I remember a few years ago when I got my hands on my first Special Reserve at retail. It was here in Virginia, and retail on these are I think like $26.99, and kind of like deer in headlights. When you finally get that bottle you've been looking for so long. So I was super excited, and then a few years later, I was able to get my first Foolproof. Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot more difficult to come by. I mean, here in Virginia, they're a lottery bottle, just like they're heavily allocated everywhere. So, I mean, if you see one, they're going to be, heavily marked up. In other states, I'll see them for, 300 plus on the shelves. And I mean, that's a hefty price to pay for a bottle. So, I mean, especially when it's non-age stated. I mean, it does have a sought after name, but, is it worth that premium? When you've got the Special Reserve that can not easily be found, but with a little bit of work, you should be able to find one of these. For like under $45, I would say. So, let's go ahead and get into these two, and see if we can taste the difference, and what the thoughts are. So this Special Reserve comes in at 90 proof, and it is their entry level offering. And then the Weller Foolproof is bottled at Foolproof, which is bottled at the same proof that the distillate went into the barrel when the aging process began. Same thing as a barrel entry proof. So Foolproof, barrel entry proof, they're interchangeable. So just by looking at these things, picking them up, not quite as good a swirler with my left hand. This glass here is a Special Reserve. This is a Foolproof. The Foolproof is a little bit darker. I mean, nothing substantial. I mean, just judging by the legs on it. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, nothing. I mean, there is definitely some legs in that glass. Not sure if you can. It's coming through. And then the Special Reserve. I mean, there are some legs on this one as well. But I mean, it's not like a predominant or a pronounced difference between these two in terms of the legs. And I mean, the color is slightly dark with the Foolproof. So now, let's get into the nose. Yeah, I mean, that's a great nose. Definitely very sweet. Right off the bat, definitely a lot of caramel, vanilla, and there's that a little bit of that signature red berry, but nothing. I mean, it's very faint on the Special Reserve. Now the Foolproof. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell this is elevated. There is a little bit more of an oak presence on the nose. That red berry is definitely amped up. I mean, what you would expect. I mean, this is, what, 24 proof points over the Special Reserve. So, and, usually you can equate proof to flavor. So, I mean, you would expect that on the nose. So, I mean, definitely the red berry is significantly more pronounced. So, I mean, of course, you're going to give the nod to the nose, to the Foolproof there. But, I mean, it's not a crazy difference, but it is noticeable. So, let's get into the palate. Cheers. Yeah. I mean, not much finish. I mean, it's very sweet. I mean, easy drinker. The vanilla, caramel. Definitely, I'm getting a lot of caramel, and that red berry is very faint. Um, not really picking up much oak at all. Yeah, there's no ethanol in this. It's very, very much so an easy drinker. I'd be incredibly happy, with this bottle at $25, $27. Heck, for how difficult it can be to find these things sometimes, I'll pay 45 for this if I see it. I might be able to pick like one or two of these up a year in Virginia. So if I'm out of town, I would pay that. Let's get into the foolproof. Oh yeah, man. Right away. The mouthfeel is definitely more viscous. Um, a lot more oily on the palate than the Special Reserve. You do get that strong proof punch, which is great. Definitely picking up a small amount of oak presence, which wasn't found, in the Special Reserve. And that red berry is very pronounced. And more of like I get more of like a cherry cordial. Not as much like a maraschino cherry. So it's definitely I mean an awesome palette for sure, and it's definitely elevated over the Special Reserve. So let's just go real quick. Yeah, of course, once you go back from the 114 back down to the 90, really just getting like vanilla and caramel on that. That red berry is kind of like definitely died down. Um, yeah, the foolproof is definitely an incredibly well put together bottle. It's definitely elevated over the Special Reserve, but seeing this bad boy at secondary for $300, and then being able to find this one, for like 30 to 40 bucks. Do you want to pay almost 10 times to get this one? I don't really think that this is worth $300. If you were in like for if you're gonna be spending what, like if you're gonna have like one or two like special bottles a year that you're gonna spend that $150 on, just to have on your bars, like, hey, someone comes over, special occasion, like this is the bottle going to be breaking out. It's definitely a very talkative piece. So you can put, I definitely think there's some value in that, and it does have a quality drinking experience. There are definitely other bottles out there that definitely drink better. For example, like a Stag Junior is going to be like in this similar price range as this, like on the secondary market. And I personally like the Stag Junior more. Your each Taylor Barrel Proof might be a little bit more than this, but I'd probably prefer the Barrel Proof over the Weller Foolproof. But I would say in like that 150 or less range, if it's your first time, acquiring one of these bottles and you've been hunting for a long time, like I would be okay, paying that much. But like after you have your first one, after a while, like another one will come around. Like don't chase it too hard. It'll come to you eventually. So overall, definitely have to give the nod to the Foolproof. It's an amazing bottle. Really happy to have it. But the Special Reserve, isn't a slouch either. So definitely don't sleep on that bottle. Um, you know. But anyways, if you made it this far in the video, please consider giving me a like and a thumbs up, and consider subscribing if you thought the video was any good. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below. Like, which bottle do you like? Have you had the Foolproof before? Have you done this comparison? Like, what do you think? Are you able to find Foolproof in your area? Like, what prices are you seeing on that? Yeah, definitely love to hear from you. But hey, always remember, pop the bottles and share the pours. See you in the next one.